Hey, what's up, everybody? Your boy Ronald Dragon here. How's everybody doing today? And this will be my first podcast episode. Yeah, my first podcast episode. Yeah, I dare say. So here's a
Good morning to you. Good morning to you. We're all in our places. We're so amazing.
that. Yo, what's up, dude? What's going on, BC?
Give me a second.
Okay, well, I'll give you that. Well, so then, there's a little entertainment for everybody.
Why did you make me do this? You're fighting so you can watch all of these mascots die. Think, Luigi. You'll outlast every fragile, insignificant franchise in this game. You'll live to see these series turn into pachinkos or mobile only. Everything and every game from your childhood will be ruined. What will you have after 500 consoles?
I still have you. Professor, I'm 10 years old and I'm ready to pick a Pokemon.
Not until I get mine first, Dork. Now, boys, you'll both get your chance. Now, before I can give you your Pokemon, you have to answer a few questions for me.
Okay, shoot.
All right. First, are you a boy or a girl?
Huh? I'm a boy, right? Right, I'm a boy.
Why are you asking me?
I don't know. It was just like a kind of a curveball. I'm a boy.
Now, what is your name?
You don't remember my name?
Who would want to remember you?
Shut up, Gary. It's Ash.
Ah, yes, of course, Ash. Now, to your left, that's your rival, my grandson. You've known each other for years. What's his name?
Grandpa, what are you doing?
What's his name, Ash?
Is he having a stroke? Grandpa, come on. It's not funny. Grandpa, it's Gary. Gary Oak. I'm your grandson. You can't forget me.
What's his name,
Mom
Ash?
said you were forgetting, but no.
What's his name, Ash?
Come on. It was so many years. Come on. It's Gary Oak. Ash, can you call my mom? I think he's forgetting. Big fuck.
Ah, yes, my grandson, Dick Fuck.
What?
Ash, you must be prepared for the journey
My
ahead.
name isn't...
You will meet great
No.
foes and
No.
many Pokemon.
Yo, you good? I see you still getting ready.
Yeah, but I won't be on here long though. You can hear me, right?
And I'm back. And I'm back. What's up, man? Sorry about that. I had to check on our other guest, possible guest. Yo, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. What's up, man?
Nothing.
Doing all right?
I'ma just have to type in the chat because I'm dealing with something.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that was our boys, the BC Chief, the BC Gaming Dispatcher. Okay. Now, on the podcast, I want to talk about stuff that basic topics that apparently that would affect the brand of my main channel. So instead of doing that this channel is gonna be more on the political side, social issues and stuff like that, and more reactionary in a sense to certain things that's going on either the internet or in politics or in business or just life in general. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's not going to be any laughs or anything, Laughs. But it's going to be on more serious topics, or even personal topics. Personal. DT says, "Why on this channel?" Well, I'm trying to do more serious conversations on and get. But see, my main channel is more for entertainment purposes. Whereas this channel is more of a podcast and more about more serious stuff, more mature topics and content. I've been trying to get this podcast type channel off the ground. This is probably going to be the first episode. But anyway, first thing I wanted to talk about is what was it? Oh yeah. Hold on. I wanted to talk about Disney. Apparently, despite the fact that Disney is obviously a tanking ship, and that going woke is probably the worst thing that has happened to it. But despite that, hold on. Ahoy, Anime AJ. How's it going, buddy? What up? But yeah, about Disney going woke being the worst thing that it's ever worst strategy is ever done with it to its content, to the way it's moving, to practically everything. Man. So, but from what I've heard from other sources on is that they plan on thinking 60, I think it was $60 billion into expanding their theme park business. Into expanding the theme park business. Now, don't get me wrong. Out of every business that has either been profitable or is like on down the dump through the wilderness, the big theme park is the only thing I say that is still profitable with Disney that hasn't been negatively affected. Which is why I can see why they're trying to invest more in the theme parks. But see, here's the thing though, that's a bad idea. One, the economy's kind of not looking too good. Everybody's financially struggling. Even people who are in Hollywood, who we also think they got money like that, making big money and stuff like that. Even they are check to check. They didn't get paid in big checks, but they are getting check to check. Especially, given the whole writer's strike going on. Given the whole writer's strike and actor strike that's going on, so I can, with all that being done and Hollywood being put on stop, doing everybody being on strike, actors, writers, etc. I can see why Disney's kind of desperate and they're trying to go back to their trying to, invest in what seems to be a go-to. And that's their theme park business. Which, even from this day, is still profitable. But, like I said, that is not a surefire way to get themselves out of the red. Or put themselves in the black, no way. Because one, it's already expensive to go to Disneyland, and not too many people are going to Disneyland because, like I said, people are struggling to pay their bills nowadays to keep themselves afloat. You think they're gonna have enough money to be going to Disneyland and stuff like that on the regular? Nah. Don't get me wrong, it's all right, but ain't nobody gonna be spending money like that to go to no Disneyland all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like, they should try to put in that $60 billion into improving their content, their services, and stop doing the woke shit. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they'll see some profit. Oh, the BC chief, and chief, the BC Games better say, I am dealing with people who are stealing my stuff, and I am trying to find out. Oh, you mean content thieves? Is that what you're trying to say? Content thieves? Yeah, we got a lot of those on YouTube and other places as well. Like, you got people who steal content, which is the most crappiest thing you can do. For those who work hard to make original content, and then you got such lazy motherfuckers who like to take bits and pieces, or those be even bold and take the whole thing and try to play it off as content or reaction content. It's kind of why reaction channels be getting a bad rap in YouTube and other spaces as well. Because all they're doing is they get you see a lot of these reaction channels getting a lot of views just reacting to something that's already there. Reacting to somebody else's channel, reacting to this and that, not really creating a channel, but reacting to content that's already there, that already exists, that's somebody who originally created that content. And I can see how that can be seen as a lazy thing, not only a lazy but easy space, but a lazy space at the same time. Basically, it's an easy way to get views, easy and lazy way to get views, but at the same time, you're not really a content creator because you're not doing anything that's original. You're just reacting to something that's already there. No offense, I'm just keeping it real, just being honest, But yeah, never mind. They are not. Really, dude. Really? Had me going on a rant for something that wasn't even happening. But then again, I'm glad you kind of did that, because that is a topic that needs to be talked about. People stealing other people's content. Even these big content creators, these big content creators, be stealing other people's content. And usually, what these big content creators do, they'll take from little content creators who work hard and put all their long hours to making a decent video or stream, just to gain just a couple thousand views or even 100 views. Whereas compared to these bigger content creators who makes a lot of views, got a lot of subscribers and followers, they'll try to take from those the little guys what they put their hard work and blood, sweat, and tears into making. Their blood, sweat, and tears into making, and try to write it off as their content. Sometimes they won't even try to change what's there. They'll just put the content they just took, like bits and pieces, or the whole thing, and say it's there. And brand this. I've seen some people who actually do some bold and brazen crap like that. And this is, in my opinion, that's straight disrespect. Like, I was like, baby, you just gonna take my shit. Take my shit that I put hours and resources into, and just say it's your own. And just because you got a big following, you think I'm just gonna sit here and let you do it? No, I'm calling you out, and I'm gonna have proof of it too. But I feel like those people need to be called out, and because you've had a lot of social media influencers or supposed content creators or streamers been doing that for a long time and reaping the benefits of doing that kind of thing for so long, and never been called out for it until now. You're starting to see a lot of these big YouTubers and Twitch streamers and etc. being called out for stealing content and profiting off that stolen content, which is rightfully so. They need to be called out. They need to be exposed for the uncreative thieves that they are. You're absolutely correct. On Dragon's Dojo podcast. Thank you, Anime AJ. Appreciate you. Still waiting for you to come up. And Chief, the VC Game Dispatcher, says, like and share. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the like and I appreciate the share. That 2-star comment. But anyways, people who do that stuff, you make me sick. You literally make me sick. And if you're gonna borrow certain pieces of content, okay, or a whole video, or someone's whole video, at least try to do something transformative, like add something to it, or do change up the color or something, add some meme to it, or do some excessive editing to make it seem more original. Don't make it seem like you're deliberately just taking something and saying it's yours. You know what I'm saying? It's the point of fair use and transformative content. At least if you're going to use someone else's content, at least transform the ish. At least do enough skillful enough editing to make it seem more original and less like you're just stealing somebody's shit and trying to profit off it. Like, come on. Don't be lazy. I understand the whole reaction thing is kind of a big thing, and everybody getting a lot of views for basically not really doing too much, but just talking shit or raging out or doing commentary on somebody who worked hard making their own extra original content or stream content, Least you can do is put the effort into trying to make it original and not making it so obvious that you're stealing it. Chief the BC Gaming says, sorry that I dropped down. Oh, it's okay, but it's okay. It says, anyway, it says, give me a minute, firing up sources as we speak. Getting ready to blast off. Cool, can't wait. And also he says, posted it on Twitter too. Oh, thanks, man, I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Now back on the topic on what was it? Oh yeah, content. Stealing content. And another thing that really pisses me off too is that it's usually these big content creators, or these big social media influencers that rob people who are much smaller than them of their content and try to pass off as their own and not even give the credit to those people. That's another thing. If you're gonna use somebody's content, or you're gonna own, or take bits and pieces of it, at least give that person credit, or name drop them, give them a shout out, show your appreciation, or help give them exposure so they can grow as well. Don't be a robber baron and just take somebody's ish and say it's yours, and not even have the common decency, the humane decency to at least shout that person out, give that person some exposure. Because you think it's easy. I'm pretty sure even you bigger content creators know that, or supposed content creators. Well, I'm just gonna call you influencers. You influencers know that it's hard making original content, or making any content in general, that appeases the audience, or even gets the audience attention along, or even go trending. Speaking of transformative content, what do you think of AMV on Dragon Dojo podcast? What I think of AMVs really don't earn my ire much. I actually like AMVs because there is at least some level of creativity, editing, and originality. Yeah, you're taking clips of scenes of anime from anime series and stuff like that, but at the same time, from what I've seen of AMVs, you're doing people that actually do stuff. It requires a lot of creativity to make those AMVs. Outside of just music, it takes a lot of creativity to make them entertaining, to time shit right, to make it goes well with the music. You can't just put any music with a bunch of anime content. It has to make sense. And plus, the difference is, like I said, it requires that AMVs requires actual work hard work to make. You actually put in effort to make those. Whereas someone who just taking someone's content and is pasting their own brand on it and saying, "Oh, this is my shit," and not even doing anything to change it. With AMVs, you have to do a lot of changes to it to make it work, to make it fit, to make it make sense, to make it creative, to make it entertaining. So yeah, I don't have no beef with AMVs. I posted on Twitter too. Oh, thanks, Chief the BC Gaming. Appreciate that, buddy. We just started. Darn right, we just started. Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears? Ronnie D, hold my beer. Hey, holding my beer is what grinds my gears. Hey, what's up, man? Yo. Okay. Well, let me do it like Peter Griffin. You know what really grinds my gears? These big bullying ass content creators stealing content without giving their just desserts and kudos to the guys who create them. That's what really grinds my gears. Like, and then when they get called out, they want to bitch and complain. Like, oh my god, who cares? You didn't make the shit, so why you bitching? What you should be complaining about is why you got caught stealing somebody else's shit and trying to make it your own. Yeah, that's what really grinds my gears. Excuse my horrible up northern accent. I know it's horrible. Don't judge me. Okay. MAJ says, "What's your favorite AMV that you can think of?" Ronald Dragon's Dojo podcast. Actually, I really can't think of one. I watch a bunch of them, but I don't never have a specific favorite. I mostly just listen to the music and it blends well with the videos. Oh no, this is DBZ on AMV. That has the song "Pneumatic on My Wrist" playing by Lil Uzi Vert. It's a Dragon Ball Z on AMV where Goku's fighting Jiren and other characters in the Tournament of Power, while "Pneumatic on My Wrist" by Lil Uzi Vert is playing in the background. And let me tell you, that video is so well made, and it melts so well in the music, and it melts so well with the song itself. And yes, and also yes, MAJ, I kind of did acknowledge you. I acknowledge you, buddy. But I'm waiting for you to get situated, you know? And Chief the BC Gaming says, I am at 1,471 watch hours. Oh, wow, nice. Me, I'm still steadily losing watch hours. It's such, it's crap like this why I be wanting to give up, but I don't want to give up because I don't want to give YouTube that satisfaction to see me give up. Haha, YouTube. I ain't giving up yet, motherfuckers. Yeah. That is a good sounding like him. I am over here laughing. And then she says, I still need help. Sure, I need help too. YouTube literally trying to wipe me from the map.
Ahoy!
Oh dang, and here this man come interrupt me. What's up, Anime J? Right when I was babbling.
No, keep going. I lost audio while making him switch over.
Oh, that's okay. But yeah, YouTube really trying to wipe me off the map. Like they really want me going out there. I think I must have ruffled their feathers or pissed them off because they keep taking away more watch hours than what I gain.
Yeah, what's going on, man? Let's go ahead and just dive in. Welcome, everybody. This is Ronald Dragon of America's Dojo podcast.
Yeah.
So you were talking about other people stealing content and shit?
Yeah, people. There've been a lot of big content creators getting exposed for stealing content from small content creators. But
basically,
we're not gonna call them content creators. We're gonna call them influencers.
Content that is uploaded by other people, that is originally uploaded by other people.
Yeah, or taking bits and pieces of their content for their own content or their own benefit, and not even giving credit to those.
So the whole time, for that first 30 minutes, I'm listening to you while getting the stream on my end set up, and I'm thinking to myself, so somebody's really got under my boy's skin here, and you're bringing up, the way you're talking about other YouTubers, it got me thinking, well, what about the YouTubers and influencers who upload content using tweets of other people. Like, what do you call the whole, hey, I'm, anime, I'm, they're saying nasty things about anime this or that, and they're just showing, like, what do you think of that? People who aren't in favor of it, but they post videos and commentary about it.
Basically, people who react to their own content is what you're telling me.
Yes, in the shortest way
Basically,
possible.
reactors. I actually spoke on them. Reactors. When I already gave my commentary, but I'm gonna say it again. On when it comes to reactors, there's not really true originality behind them. But these reactors get a lot of views on their channels and on platforms by reacting to other people's ish.
Yep.
And see, and it's that you never know who's reacting to, because not everybody's gonna like what you make. Not everybody has their own take.
Yep.
And like my favorite reactors are, one of them I can name off back Aubrey and Preach. Like, I like them. The reason why I kind of like them and I give them a little bit pass, they react to people's shows, they give good ass commentary and wise and insightful commentary, and they're very intellectual. It's not really biased. It's just the truth when it comes to reacting and stuff. And what they react to is stuff that either woke, dumb, or just straight up, just BS in general. They react to the BS that people do and give their honest criticism and commentary on it.
Right. It's been interesting because I posted in Discord, if you saw it a while back, because everybody was talking, like, it got me thinking about the McDonald's Japan ad. You've seen that, right?
Wait, say it again?
The McDonald's Japan ad?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. And I was about to get on that too after I finished.
Hey, you think we could turn down that music or maybe turn it off?
Hold on. My bad, dude.
It's okay.
Trying to set the mood, let everybody relax.
Music. It should be much lower though. Yeah, like it should be quieter than us.
Yeah, is that good enough?
A little more, back a little more, skosh.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Again,
that
sorry.
way it's there. No, you're good, man. You're good. I'm a bit of a, as you know, I do a lot of video editing, so that's where my expertise is in terms of basic stuff. But I constantly, because I'm making anime music videos, I'm constantly listening to audio on a regular basis. So,
Right.
Yeah, I'm just not very good at audio, the audio tech side though. Anyway, so yeah, the McDonald's Japan ad. You've seen it, right?
Yeah. Hold up. Yo, AJ, Chief said you should do a podcast too.
Right? There are avenues that are being explored currently in that regard.
Cool. You know that Ruby King started back up on his DBZ channel, right? His DBZ channel?
No, I have not. He should have posted that in our group chat.
He posted it on his community tab and in his own Discord that he's starting back up his Dragon Ball channel.
Okay.
Yeah. I've already subscribed to it. Something like that.
Nice. Send me the link.
All right.
Please.
No, I think he hold on. I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. Gonna leave me here to host all alone?
No. Oh, you want me to wait after the stream? I'd rather wait after the stream.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be immediate, bro.
Okay. Cool. But as I was saying, dang, I don't lost.
No, it's all right.
Oh, AJ, Chief wants to know you have a Facebook, if you have Facebook or not.
Yeah, I saw. I was about to reply. I actually have a Twitter.
Okay.
You can click my YouTube, and there should be a link for my Twitter. I've also got everything linked up on my Twitch channel. So updates have been in progress.
Okay, cool. Oh, no, what was I talking about? Oh yeah.
The McDonald's Japan, the McDonald's Japan ad. You seen it?
Yep.
Okay.
I saw it, and I saw it on Ruby King's reaction of it as well.
I didn't know shit about it until
Yeah.
people started reacting to it. And I don't mean the haters reacting to it. I'm talking about other people reacting to the haters reacting. Like, oh my God, people are saying this is, you know.
Yeah, you have a
blah, blah,
kind of
blah.
a
And I'm
divided
like-
opinion on it.
So I'm like, why is anybody looking at or giving any attention to the haters then? I knew nothing of the ad until people started saying other people were hating it. I had no idea that anyone hated it.
Right.
That's what, you know what I mean? So I'm like, so it gets me questioning what kind of content creators I am following and not following. Because, you know, giving attention to that, to the wokies, is what's allowing them to continue. If we start ignoring them and start giving them attention, like whiny little babies, then they'll stop acting out.
Yep.
That's
Now,
how it
you
is.
got, then again, you'll have that son that still be stubborn.
Oh yeah, I mean, remember when I think me and Ruby King, maybe you were there, but I had mentioned to him at one point that Disney was going to double down on the wokeness. They were going to try and improve their writing on how to present it in the movies, right?
Right.
Well, they kind of did. And I said that's what would happen right before they finally go broke. Then now the writer's strike has happened. It's been so long. I don't remember when it happened. It started exactly, but now the writer's strike. Apparently, there's now an agreement in the works.
Yeah, usually
And
talking about stuff that I was talking about at the beginning. Yep. But I want to hear your opinion on it.
But it's just like, yeah, it's coming to an end. I think this is how Disney's going to clean house on its writing staff. They're either going to improve their ability to write stories and we'll get the content we want, or they're just going to keep going until the stock finally crashes.
Or they could have do that whole AI thing that's been going around.
Right. If they're so afraid of the AI, because I don't consider it AI. It's not artificial intelligence per se. I mean, you can say so because it is programmed. The fact that it's programmed means that it can be automated. It's automated intelligence. It's just fucking bots. It's the same kind of technology they use for bots on Twitter and Reddit. All the fake accounts that get more and more impressions and engagement. Because that's what Twitter and Reddit and Facebook are. They're just advertising platforms. That's their niche of the social media.
Right.
Of social media economics. That's their niche. I've been calling it out for quite a while. Like, Twitter is getting in the game, you know, when it comes to what YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble can do. It's jumping in there, and it's you know, I mentioned it before. Like, just pay attention to what is going to happen with Disney, because there's also been calls. I mean, if anyone out there follows Doomcock, he's been talking about how his insiders or his sources, and a lot of this is rumor. So, but there's talk that there's huge changes coming down the pipeline for Disney. There's been a lot of projects and productions put on hold. Shows or movies are canceled or rearranged. Heck, there's a rumor I saw going around that the chick who plays Snow White in the upcoming live action has been fired.
Her name is thanks. I don't really care too much for her. I forgot her name, but I know she is.
That's exactly. Just go ahead, go with that. Don't give her any more attention.
Yeah, I really don't remember her name, but I've heard it so many times. I know her face, but I don't care for her like that.
It's just because there are other actors and actresses worth giving your attention to. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. So again, it was especially Ruby. Like, he was maybe the second or third YouTuber, content creator kind of person who had uploaded a reaction video to all the haters reacting to McDonald's Japan ad. And I'm like, I've been calling this shit. I'm like, it was not unexpected, but the fact that there are only certain YouTubers who make content regarding those type of things. I'm like, if it weren't for the YouTubers I was following or networked with or subbed to, I would never know that the Wokies are hating on the McDonald's Japan ad.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Well, you should have heard
See
the
what I mean?
crap that being said, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, once I got in, it was like a rabbit hole like any other. I mean, it's anime related, so of course, and it's got identity politics is trying to weave its nasty fingers in there. So how could I ignore it once I found out?
Right.
But it just goes to show people are waking up to what's going on in a lot of regards when it comes to society and entertainment and pop culture. And a lot of people are, they're giving attention to, they're putting their energy into other things. So the whole hating, the wokeness going against anime, it is going to lose in the end.
Yep.
Again,
Because I love how
as I
wholesome it
predicted,
was.
yeah, as I predicted with the Disney side of things here in the States, they're going to double down before they finally go broke. Because none of these Twitter accounts, these bots or whatever, people aren't going to continue sinking that kind of money and time into that shit to get reactions that are no longer profitable. Because they hate on McDonald's Japan ad, they get the impressions, they get the click-throughs, it's clickbait.
Right.
That's how they make money. And once we stop giving them the attention and we stop looking at that kind of hateful content, they will no longer be able to make money. Thus, it's no longer profitable to make those kind of hateful reactions to wholesome things.
So just the stories that don't give these haters any attention.
Right. There was definitely a lot of passion in your voice I could hear during your first 30 minutes, about the people who are content stealers. And it's just free publicity for them, essentially.
That too. And also free money.
Right. So there's ways, it's like, yeah, that is, I definitely feel for you. If there's somebody out there, who's actively putting in effort to undermine your efforts, like they find, to find profitability in that is unwholesome. Am I right?
Right.
So yeah, let's move. What else is on your mind? What else? We were talking about something on your live stream earlier today, and I can't remember what it was.
Let me, not to cut you off, not to be rude or anything, but I also want to mention that I'm finally starting up the PS5 and transferring my content. That's what I'm kind of doing right now while I'm doing the stream.
Oh, nice.
I got new headphones and everything, controllers, high-end headphones, that is. That came with this stuff.
Awesome. So when are you gonna? So you're gonna have it done before the end of the day, as in ready for use.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it done today, so I can do streams tomorrow.
Oh, there you go.
And cause I think what I'm gonna stream is possibly most likely on Mortal Kombat.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm actually re-downloading, reinstalling Mortal Kombat on Steam.
Yeah, the new one I'm talking about, though.
Right, I know you're talking about the new one. Was just like, oh yeah, I've got Mortal Kombat, but it's one of the older ones. The one where you got, I think on my version I can play as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. But yeah, Oh yeah, and during my stream, we were talking about the big YouTuber that blocked you.
Oh yeah, that was interesting. Yes, nope. See, I'm glad, because here's the cool thing about Elon Musk is that he was trolling everybody, and when I say trolling, I'm not talking like, just as spite, or he was basically getting people to react. He got people to react by saying that he's going to remove the block feature. If that happens, oh boy, okay, interesting. But the fact that it still exists after 2 months now, when that whole meme started, he's like, yeah, there was that's how you get the impressions on Twitter now. He's showing how it can be. He's showing the profitability, and here we are with the current transition that the company is changing. Oh, there went that train. Instead of changing it. Yeah, there's definitely I'm actually looking forward to the upcoming changes, because they filed in all 50 states to do the same shit that PayPal does. So you're going to be able to use Twitter for making payments between individuals. Content creators will be able to get tips, essentially. Ahoy! Oh, somebody's in my chat now. Remind me where we were starting on this again, Ronnie D.
Where we started from?
Block, yeah. You big YouTuber blocked me. So it's just interesting that, when I block people, it's because of the way they come, if they start using, insults, right? They attack you with, they call you names, right?
Right.
Okay, that qualifies for a block, because you're not interacting appropriately. So my comment was, sure, it was an opinion, and it was an opinion that was jumped or based off part of their statement in a comment or post they had done on Twitter. And it's just interesting that I'm not even it's not like I was taking attention. It's like, why was I blocked? Okay, I don't get to see their content on Twitter anymore. So, gee, why have they never blocked me on their YouTube channel? It's really interesting that comment did it, because it's political, and their conversation, their video, they talk about politics quite a bit in their content. So I'm like, oh, do some content creators have an immediate turnoff to people that might be VTubers? It's interesting. That's kind of what I was thinking. My day's pretty good, Charles. Thanks for asking. That's Charles over in my chat.
Nice.
Say hello to Ronnie D's chat, everybody.
What's good, everybody? How's it going? But yeah, I think I was saying also that people like that who do stuff like that, usually don't have an underlying agenda of their own, or is a part of the agenda, or just don't like their ideals challenged by somebody who they see as beneath them, or just don't like their ideals challenged.
Yeah, it's like you've got a certain ideology about how you view the world or politics, and it's like when someone because to take a comment offensive is a choice. Name calling is definitely something that a lot of people can agree they would choose as offensive. I don't think I'm wrong in that.
Or as a little form of defense mechanism to deflect.
It's because if you have to use names to counter someone's argument, then you obviously don't have a coherent thought. Why are you trying to take down my opinion on it? My comment wasn't offered as an attack. It's that when you're complaining about someone doing something a certain way, it's interesting that people use, again, like I'm referring to the wokies, the Marxists, the communists, and the socialists, all these political identity politics,
Right.
right? And it's people think that we can resist and fight them by using their language and tactics, and it's not working, and it's not going to work.
Of course not.
That's why you still see. That's why you see. You will continue to see that division seep through popular culture and entertainment because we give it attention. The counterculture on the economics of the internet, especially like YouTube, Rumble. Rumble is a big place. We can get into that because this all ties in. Everything that's going on, this is all part of their agenda, and we're already seeing it with people where they're being attacked if they don't follow the mainstream narrative. I'm pretty sure that the McDonald's Japan ad, like, I'm wondering if there was anything about that in the news on cable television. It's just a wonder that again, people react to the reactionaries. That they gotta behave and react the same way they do about. It's like, okay, so how does that offer a different viewpoint? Because we can't use, like Einstein has said, we can't use the same form of thinking that got us into these problems. We got to have a new way of thinking to solve them.
You get it working? Go. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem. You staying hydrated over there?
Yeah. I'm
you got something to drink?
in the middle of doing the transfer.
Right, I know,
Almost
I can
complete.
hear it.
Yeah. And plus, probably gonna take like an extra time of 7 to 8 hours.
Oh, look
So
at
I might
that.
not be-
There's got quite a few chatters. Go ahead.
But outside of that, I just think it's kind of effed up how people who say one thing, but then their actions behind the scenes say another.
It's like, why am I being silenced? What is it about my comment that offended them, that they took offense at? You know,
Maybe because your comment didn't align with his.
It probably didn't. It's these YouTubers. They complain about the communists and their influence in mainstream media and our Hollywood movies and the MCU and shit. And when you counter that by saying it's a different viewpoint, because you want to go down this rabbit hole, Ronnie D, because the one thing I like about talking with you when we do our King's conspiracy talks, and I wish Rudy King could be here too, because he seems like the kind of person who digs looking into some of this stuff and following these paper trails, because that's what you got to do, is follow the money. Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to get him in it, but it's just that he be often too busy. But I can see if I can try to get him again.
We all got day jobs.
Yeah, I know I do.
Right?
Hate mine.
Don't get me started. You want to get me started? Don't get me started.
Actually, I was planning on doing a segment on complaining about day jobs, and where I tell about my own all kinds of crazy shit that happened at my current job and my old jobs.
Right.
On the Dragon America Speaks platform.
Nice.
And if anybody else want to talk about their experiences, they can. Hop on.
Right. So let's go down this cultural Marxist rabbit hole. What is a first world country? When you hear that term, what do you think that means?
By American terms, a rich and successful country, or supposedly rich country. Sometimes I'll be looking at America like I be thinking like nowadays that, man, we so fake rich. No wonder why you got a lot of fake rich people who be trying to floss on the internet and shit.
Right. So it's like it has to do with economics, right?
And a little bit on the political power side. And I think military power does play a hand, maybe. If you want to add that into it.
Obviously, a rich country could afford a bigger military, right?
Basically, like rich countries like outside of us, maybe Japan or Russia or China, definitely, or
Right.
Dubai
Okay,
or
so
the UK.
so then when you hear the term third world country, what comes to mind?
From, like I said, from by American standards of how they tell it to us, or how it's supposed to seem, dirt poor. How they always try, like kind of like how they always try to portray Africa, but we all know
Okay.
Africa really is not truly dirt poor.
Okay,
They
and
actually have an economy.
what is then, with that in mind, from what you've seen on television and been taught in school, what is a second world nation? What is a second world country? There's first world nations, third world nations. What is a second world nation?
Basically, I guess it's the country version of a middle class. Of the middle
Is
class,
it?
which is, from my sense, how I'm assessing it. Because like third world is supposed to be the poor class or low class countries. First world is supposed to be the high class. This is me just simplifying everything. You know what I'm saying? Putting in a simple term for myself, or giving away a simple way of explaining it.
Right.
And I guess second world country is more of the middle class. Like I said, this is my way of simplifying explaining myself.
Well, that's actually not what they mean. A first world nation. These were all terms invented by the Soviets, the commie Russians, back during the Cold War. First world countries were all the NATO allies. They were any country, supposedly like America, that had a free market capitalist economy. Whereas third world nations were countries that were neither aligned or allied with the U.S. nor had communist governments. They weren't part of the Communist International.
So
Second world nations were every fucking Soviet nation. It was the USSR, China, every communist country on the planet, part of the Comintern even. That was their term for, that was what second world nation meant. It was anyone who was pro-communist.
So put it simply, any country that
Ruby! Oh my God, bro! Ronnie D, Ruby King just popped into my chat.
what's up,
Ruby
Ruby King?
King?
How's it going, buddy?
You think he might be able to come and join us? I wonder, dude.
I hope he can.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about the Kingston conspiracies. I mean, that's what I posted about on Twitter too. I wonder if he's
Please tell
gonna
me he can hop
reply.
on.
I mean, I'm broadcasting on my channel. I'm streaming, so that's where. I mean, he's in my live chat. I'm hoping he's still there.
I hope so too, or he's probably switched over. I don't know. We'll never know until we see him.
I know, right.
But
He's at work. He says, well, thank you for listening in. We definitely miss you and wish you were able to get in here.
I know, right? But you were saying though?
Yeah. So first world, third world, second world countries. Now we've covered all that. What about? I know I've probably talked with you before about it. Well, how did you know that the Nazis and the Soviets were, they were enemies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear about what happened in Canada in the news?
No, I didn't.
Well, apparently their government, their Congress or whatever, did a ceremony to applaud a Ukrainian Nazi.
Really?
And of course, back then, even the Ukrainians they fought against the Soviets during their own revolution right after World War II. Well, even before that. I mean, they had yeah. And when Germany had conquered much of Eastern Europe, they had a volunteer force. Well, one of those guys is living in Canada. They're like, yeah, he's a Canadian hero. He's a Ukrainian hero. He fought against the Soviets. And no one knew that he had actually fought for the SS, which made him a full-blown Nazi. But the Nazis and the Soviets were enemies. They considered each other enemies because they were on polar opposites of the Marxist ideologies. There was National Socialism in Germany and communism and its evolving forms in Soviet Russia.
Hey, yo! Sorry to interrupt you, but Ruby King's here as well.
Yes, there he is.
What's up, buddy?
Ahoy!
Feel like hopping on?
He's at work, man.
Oh yeah. I was hoping he could hop on for 5 minutes. I was hoping he could present us with his presence for 5 minutes or so.
Right? Ooh, Shiny Evolution. There. Hold on, here.
Okay, buddy. But Ruby King. I'm getting my PlayStation ready. I'm setting it up now. So I should be streaming Mortal Kombat tomorrow. If nothing happens.
Nice. Have fun with that.
I'll be streaming the story, that is. Got my profile on here. Just waiting for everything else to finish downloading.
Right. So anyway, when the Nazis were in power, they remember how they blamed the communists for burning down the Reichstag, and that's how Hitler took over.
Yeah, I've heard of
Okay.
that. Yeah, I've heard of
Well,
it.
part of their propaganda to make the Soviets look like the enemy to the German nation was by calling, like they even claim, called them, they linked the Jews with communism, right? And there was
Right.
all that over there. I mean, that's why the Ukrainian thing is such a big scandal, because the genocide took place over there when the Germans had conquered it.
Right.
So the Nazis, Hitler's party, had come up with this way of division, the dichotomy between, National Socialism is the way to go with envisioning a Marxist plan, while the Soviets were like, no, communism is the way to do that. And so that's where the left-right came from, because everybody associates the right with the Nazis. Am I
Right.
wrong? Okay. And they associate the communists or the Soviets with the left, right?
Right.
Well, that's never been true. That's never been further from the truth. Is that they're practically one and the same. They come from the same line of ideology, of philosophy. They have a similar origin, and they both implement economic policies in the same way. But for some reason, people now have this confusion about the right, the color red, the word Republican, and having it associated with a group of socialists. They just because they were National Socialists doesn't make them opposite of the left. They were still socialists. Hitler was a socialist. Even fascism was started. The party, its creator, was a socialist. Fascism was just a term to come up with for a specific Italian form of socialism. It was
Right.
socialist 100% through and through. It was never on the right. But for some reason, the majority can confuse. They think, oh yeah, fascism and Nazism are the same, so they're on the right somehow. And where does that come from?
People and their assumptions, and them not, doing their research.
Right. So the fact that there's this false equation presenting that in the simplest of terms, it conflicts with people who profit off of reacting on that very philosophy of division. The left this, the right that, blah blah blah. But they complain about, if you're complaining about the actions of both sides, and both sides are using the same economic policies, then they're not different politicians. Because even the Soviet Russians, what were they called? The Soviet Socialist Democracies? No, it was the Soviet Socialist Republics, right? So the communists in Russia were technically republicans. So how is that, that just apparently presenting that argument in the simplest of terms that the left-right paradigm is a fallacy. Apparently that's offensive. They don't use, because that's a simple form of engagement to offer people to inquire about, like, what do you mean? But no, presenting a dichotomy as a fallacy is just, it warrants a block. Yes, I know. I don't have a way. There's nothing inappropriate in the chat. Oh, there we go. I think we lost Ronnie D, everybody.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. Sorry. I was just doing the final purchase for Mortal Kombat.
I figured.
Yeah. Preparing for tomorrow, But yeah. Where we left off at?
Well, that was it, I guess.
Okay. What was I want to talk about? It was. Oh yes. Oh.
You done?
Yeah. Crap.
We're talking about the YouTube watch today.
No, something else.
That's a good topic right there. Again, back to YouTube. So, remember we mentioned, what's going on with Russell Brand, right?
Yeah. And he went and Rumble picked him up and
Well, he's always been on Rumble. He's been on Rumble for quite a while.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and he actually has been doing most of his content over there to begin with, because a lot of stuff he can't say or talk about on YouTube anyway, which he's essentially done to avoid demonetization and have his content taken down, because they've done that before. So now he's on Rumble, and they've been trying to get him demonetized on Rumble. The UK Parliament is trying to get him demonetized.
That's crazy.
A government is going after him. So it's just like, okay, so with complaints that you have had and things that we've discussed between you, me, and Ruby King, what do you think about YouTube now that it has a competitor in Rumble? Because nobody was thinking, because now it's official. Rumble is a competitor, is it not? There's now, when people think of anything like YouTube or similar to it, what we got? YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. Nobody's talking about BitChute.
Yeah, of course not.
Right. So what do you think about Rumble? You thinking of starting over there as well?
Already on there.
Oh, good. Me too.
And
Ruby King asked in my chat, what do you think the outcome will be for Russell Brand? I think he's going to be victorious.
You think so?
Yep. I think he's going to remain, for the time being, he's going to remain, he's going to have his Rumble channel. He's not going to get demonetized just yet over there. But the fact that there's other activity and shadow banning that's been going on certain platforms, it's becoming more evident which platforms content creators will find the more freedom of expression on. That, is what's taking place right now.
Hmm.
Another example in that regard, with that train of thought, is think of Tucker Carlson on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you play? Yeah. Not to be on top, but you ever play Last of Us Part 1?
No,
I wanted to ask somebody's opinion on it because it's free on PlayStation.
Ruby King said in my chat, I don't trust the UK. I feel that they'll arrest him on a bogus charge. Well, that's what this is going. That's what's happening right now. They're trying to get him for that. Charles Buchanan said, I have a question, Ronald and Anime AJ. What is your favorite WWE wrestling tournament? Ronald D's Captain Hook. Who win?
I mean, Dwayne Johnson's not wrestling anymore. He ain't been wrestling for a while. John Cena's not wrestling anymore. He's not. So yeah, those are my favorites at the time.
Ruby King's like, damn, I wish I was on. Yeah, we wish you were on too, bro.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, Hulk Hogan was always a favorite. Macho Man Randy Savage for sure.
Hulk Hogan used to be my favorite to certain things about him. When it came to his daughter with a black guy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, it's not like he killed anybody like other people have in history.
That's true. That's very true. He'll still have some place in my heart. It's just that he kind of went down after that whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I read his biography, I was surprised to learn that he did hard drugs. He did steroids.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
To me, it's like, I would never do steroids. Oh, I would never snort cocaine. It's like, then I read that, and afterwards I'm like, that was a guy I used to idolize, way back when. The guy's Okuo is 500, so he's been around, and it's just like to have somebody confess that in a biography, right? Not an autobiography, so it's just like, okay, he was an adult, at that time, even back then, and even back then, just like in Hollywood today, Florida, the entertainment business in Florida, especially and in the South, when it came to wrestling, it's essentially an act. It's just like acting. It is, and of course, it's a professional industry in itself. It's all for the entertainment and as a sport. But they did things, that the industry promoted or allowed within its ranks for people to get by or get big. But
industry.
It's an interesting story, and to and learning about certain people is definitely it adds to your perspective of the world. Ruby King is commenting quite a bit on my chat. What's going on here? Wow, thank you. He says Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh yeah, I liked him. He was cool. You were surprised that Hulk Hogan wasn't in drugs. No, I was surprised that he was in drugs. That he was taking drugs, using drugs. Pretty much all the wrestlers back then were on drugs. Yes, exactly. And Hulk Hogan talks about that. He talks about his relationships, both personal and professional, inside and outside the ring, with fellow wrestlers and industry professionals. Vince McMahon, all of them, and everything. And the stuff that he did. I mean, he was just like in that old after school special he was in, where he was like, yeah, when I was younger and they had a fat kid play him in his youth. He's like, yes, I was fat and chubby. And he's like, in the book, in his biography, he admits, yeah, he had that kind of, that was true, and it had an impact on his self-esteem, and that's why he got into being fit. And that was part of the shock of learning that this adult man, he put so much effort into it that he used steroids, all this other stuff, and went through. The problem is that sort of stuff can not only damage your body, it becomes habitual when it's part of a actual regimen, and then you get into the harder things that ruin your body. And it's just interesting to learn about the negative impacts of certain things from other people's perspectives and how they live their lives. So in a way, it was shocking to learn some of that truth. And then, of course, I read his biography before the whole incident with his daughter and whatnot. It's just interesting that he's just a flawed human being like everybody else. And that's, of course, part of the reason why I miss Macho Man,
I can understand that.
Ruby King's like, it was the 80s, the era of cocaine, sugar booger, baby.
Era of
yeah, that was, especially in Hulk Hogan's time, they were as popular as, rock musicians. It was like going to a concert, essentially. That's what it was. It was all a stage show. So they'd be touring around in buses, going from city to city. That's how WWE got so famous and popular.
Yeah.
Even NASCAR, that was started because of moonshiners back during the Prohibition era.
Seriously?
Yeah. That's where its origins come from.
Oh. That sugar booger. Not to get off topic, but you heard of this Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections?
No, I haven't.
It's supposed to be a collection of all the Ultimate Ninja Storm, from what my brother tells me, I think. But I'm thinking, like, why make something like that when you already got the trilogy and stuff like that?
Right? It's just another way to get more money.
Yeah, it's a little obvious cash grab. Oh, Tekken 8, Tekken 8, baby. Yes, Tekken 8. Sorry about that. I got excited. I thought Tekken 8.
No, that's good.
But yeah, let me focus on the string because like I'm getting so easily distracted.
Yes, you are.
Okay, sorry, everybody. I apologize. I'm just very excited. But yeah. Hold up. Street Fighter 3 main protagonist was based on Hulk Hogan. Oh yeah, that is right. Speaking of Street Fighters, who has played Street Fighter 6 yet?
Nope.
Really?
No. I don't play a lot of fighting games. I mean, I've only got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2, and the Mortal Kombat game with Freddy Krueger in it, and one other game. I can't remember. Oh yeah, Injustice.
Oh, okay.
Where Superman kills Joker.
Yeah. Based on the movie.
Well, it's the video game. Yeah.
So the video game came before the movie.
I don't know. But you get to play as the Joker, you get to play as Lex Luthor, a bunch of other DC villains, and you get to play all the DC heroes. So it's pretty cool. It's like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, but with the DC universe.
Right.
And it takes place in the timeline where, and I think time travel is involved because I mean you play the Flash, but I can't remember how the story goes. It's got good graphics though. I'm thinking of finishing.
How the story goes? Which one? 1 or 2?
The first one, the first Injustice.
The first Injustice. It starts with basically like kind of like the movie. Superman said he kills his wife, Lois, and when she dies, the bomb that was on set in Metropolis goes off, and yeah, boom. Then Superman goes up deep and becomes, dictator Superman, and anyone who disagreed with him got dealt with. The most fucked up person, the most fucked up death that happened in there was probably on Shazam,
Huh.
where he literally freeze the kid's face, then heat visioned it.
Well, I've been reinstalling it, so I'll get back into it, finish the story.
Like, talk about a terrible way to go. And by Superman, no less.
Right?
But then again, Superman sucks. He's an ass.
Yeah, I never really cared or liked the portrayals like, oh, fantasy, alternate reality or alternate timeline dimension, Superman goes evil. It's like it's such a postmodern deconstruction of the character, and it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with a lot of the wokeness too in most of the movies, is that it's a postmodern deconstruction. Oh, let's change the character's skin color.
Or
Ruby King
let's change the
Superman
character's
killing
gender.
right? Superman killing Shazam that easy was bullshit. Yeah. Yes.
Wait, say it again.
He said, and he used the emoji for a bowl and the emoji for poop. Superman killing Shazam that easy was bullshit.
It really was. It was known. It was the most terrible way to go out by Superman, no less. But it was just, what the fuck? You mean tell me someone who's supposed to be equally powerful as Superman and whose power is magic based gets dealt with that easily by Superman? And on top of that, the kid let him do it.
The
He didn't fight back.
And the point of the character being created was, in terms of using magic as a superpower, was to counter all the other types of heroes, like Batman using his ingenuity, Superman having, natural strength because he's, not from this solar system, and Wonder Woman. I mean, she's kind of got magic with her superpowers.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to provide a balance between these different character types and where their powers and abilities come from.
I get you.
And yeah, Ruby King says it was bad writing. I'm like, yeah, it was definitely bad writing.
What did they talk about? Whoa, what's wrong? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about that new Asgard game. It's gonna be coming out in the next few months.
But yeah, like Ruby King just said, it was bad writing. Yeah, right. It was a bad writing. In a way, a good bit of the movie and the game was kind of bad writing when you think about it.
Right. Well, when I started the game for Injustice, watching Superman kill the Joker was just like,
Like you killed congratulations, you killed a clown that obviously would not.
No, it just ruins Superman. It just ruins Superman is all.
He sucks. He was already ruined. Every version of him.
No, his character is the type that when he was created would not be the type to do that sort of thing ever. And that's the whole problem with the postmodern deconstruction. When they in the Injustice story, when it was first created, they have Superman kill somebody. Well, have it be the Joker. It's the same universe, etc. Let's see what would happen if someone with Superman's powers and abilities crosses the line that he was never supposed to cross, or he said he would never cross.
That's what they all say.
So yeah, and it doesn't. And of course, then there's the whole, going back to. I mean, it was interesting. I don't know if I can say anymore if it was good writing, but like when Superman was first killed, the whole killing off of comic book characters and then just resurrecting them, that trope is just it is bad. It's bad writing. It's just because now even Marvel. The X-Men are doing it over and over. It's just it's tired. It's tired. Let that trope die, Stop killing off characters just to resurrect them. it's like their death has no meaning anymore. And yet, for the plot of the story, it's supposed to have some sort of impact, but it don't.
Yeah, we need. I feel like a lot of these guys just need to hire better talent or better talented writers.
Why you say that?
Because there's too much bad writing nowadays.
For real?
You still there?
Yes. Ruby King says he believes it was Nightly written for evil Superman, then realized that he was a horrible person. One of the few good moments for Superman's character that actually made him interesting. Too bad the movie adaptation sucks. LOL, but he still liked it. That's why anime is better. Yes, agree. That's why anime is better.
Because
That's
anime
why-
perfected that type of thing.
And with that hook, that's why I am not supporting any more or any other live action adaptations of animated films. Disney has ruined the trope. People are complaining about Disney doing that over and over, and yet it's just so bogus that a lot of the people who are complaining about Disney remaking their animated films into live action, and yet a bunch of those same complainers are praising Netflix for their, or anime fans are praising or looking forward to live action remakes. It's like, what is that supposed to be? Netflix definitely ruined it after the Cowboy Bebop fiasco. I was like, yep, it was even before then. It was just like there doesn't seem to be a point in making anime or anything animated into a live action adaptation. If it was meant to be live action, that's what it would have been done the first time. That's what it would have been done to begin with, and it would have been done properly, instead of, oh hey, we're just going to make an animated film, an animated show or TV series or movie, and then have to, because it's just a cash grab by remaking it into a live action, just like the Disney movies. That's what it is. It's like people complain already, especially like a lot of anime lovers. They tend to complain about how animators aren't getting paid enough, right? And the industry is, there's this stigma about the industry, and yet more and more anime projects keep getting churned out and being produced for Japanese television and theaters, and yet people seem to think that there needs to be an American live action adaptation of something that was already good on its own.
Yeah.
Just like all the original Disney animated films, they were already good on their own. If
There was literally no
Bang
point to doing live action versions of
if
them.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang would have been better as an animated Disney film, they would have made it an animated film instead of a live action. But there has been no remake of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang as an animated film, even though it was made as a live action first.
Right.
How come live action movies don't get readapted as an animation? Do you know how many of those freaking Dwayne The Rock Johnson movies would have been probably better as animated films?
A whole fucking heap.
Yeah, I can think of a couple. I can't remember.
Like,
all
I
their
know
names.
I do know some live action movies that were animated. Off rip.
So they weren't done.
You probably might not know all of them, but Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Well, that was a TV series.
No, it was a movie before it was a cartoon series. And
Right. It was a live action movie.
yeah,
Yes.
Michael Jai White.
Right. I actually liked the movie better than the TV series.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I liked the TV series.
But the
especially if
movie
it was animated,
just
because it gave us more, but it wasn't Michael Jai White.
No, Michael Jai White still voiced the cartoon character.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I don't remember.
Yeah, I
that
can
part,
tell. But bro, I'm a Michael Jai White fan, bro.
Well,
All right.
This was back in the day, of course, but I remember that movie, and I was like, man, that's a goddamn good movie.
Yep. Cream corn, honeybee, all the bullhorn.
Did you know that he played Jax from Mortal Kombat at one point?
Yep. Well, no, he was supposed to play in that Mortal Kombat movie, but I think he said disagreement took place, and somebody else ended up taking the role instead.
Well, I wonder. I could have swore I saw him in a fan-made YouTube movie.
He did a fan-made one, but I'm talking about the first two on live-action Mortal Kombat movies.
Ruby King confirmed in my chat that Michael Jai White did reprise his role as the voice of
Black Dynamite. Yeah,
in the animated show.
Yeah, because me and my brother watched that, so we still watch the show.
I used to watch that. Yeah, it was good. But again, I like the movie much better.
Yeah, the movie still. If it wasn't for the movie, there wouldn't be the cartoon.
Right, exactly.
You know what would be very disrespectful to black culture, even maybe possibly.
What?
Making a live action of Boondocks.
Maybe. I guess it probably would be. I guess.
Especially if they do it wrong.
Oh yeah, like what? They change everybody's skin color?
No, if they make.
Well, because the animated show, which did take a lot of inspiration from anime style animation, it the characters are African American. They're all black, right?
With the exception.
So what if they did a Netflix?
Well, with the exception of Death,
Disney shit, it's like, dude, stay away, stop it.
That wouldn't be Boondocks if they were all white. But then, the premise is basically two black kids and their black grandfather living their lives and adventures in a white predominant neighborhood, ruled by some rich white corporate fat cat, greedy fat cat, and his psycho and his awesome but psychotic grandson. Yo, I love Ed Wongster III, bro. Charlie Murphy did his thing when he voiced it on Ed Wongster III.
Right?
It sucks that Charlie Murphy's dead now, so we ain't gonna get that.
No, that's right.
And it sucks Granddad's dead, like John Witherspoon.
Right. Ruby King says that Jax was in the Machinima live-action Mortal Kombat series. I remember. I told you he was. He played Jax. I was right because I watched that.
Wait, what?
The Machinima. You never seen the live-action Machinima?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about the live-action movie, the 1990s movie. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. I mean, there's that connection, but he actually did play Jax in the Machinima. That's what I was referring to.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the live-action movies in the 90s.
Right?
Because he was actually supposed to do that one as well.
Right. I heard about that. But yeah, he got to finally play Jax in the fan-made Machinima. Yes, of course. Just like in the games, in the actual storyline, Jax and Sonya were police officers. They were part of a strike force. They were part of an undercover thing. And what's his name? The guy with the
I thought they were in the military.
Eye. Military, police. They were after him because this had to do with drugs and whatnot, and like criminal activity.
Yeah, because he ran the Black Dragons, like a super international crime.
What was it, Kane? Yeah, Kane. I believe it was Kane, and they were after Kane. Sonya and Jax.
Kano.
Yeah, Kano. They entered the Mortal. They were after him. That's how they ended up there. That's why it was disappointing that Jax wasn't in the first movie. They didn't bring him in until the second one.
Yeah. They'll probably make Huey O'Reilly gay. That'd be something.
I kind of think that it was like, looking back, it's like, God damn, the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat movies sucked. They were the video game and anime live action adaptations even back then over the years they sucked.
I mean, the 90s Street Fighter movie was not great.
Jean-Claude Van Damme was high on cocaine the entire time of that filming of the movie. And we were all rooting for him as the good guy. right? I mean, in real life, but Jean-Claude, what's his name? Raul
Jean-Claude Van
Julia.
Damme.
Raul Julia. No, I'm referring to Raul Julia. He had just come out of fighting cancer, and he's playing the villain, and he dies at the end. But yeah,
Like-
the writing for the stories in those movies weren't really the best.
It really wasn't.
No. And it hasn't really been much of a change compared to the video game and comic book adaptations they're pumping out now. And it's just like, you guys have watched the game.
I mean, if you look at, they weren't. If you compare their movies to the Tekken movie, like compare the Street Fighter movie to the Tekken movie, live action movie, and with the '90s Mortal Kombat movie, I had to say the '90s Mortal Kombat was more faithful to the game.
Maybe Street Fighter 2.
And Street Fighter, the Street Fighter movie, the live action movie that was in the '90s, was attempting to stay on point with the game, but kind of missed it with a lot of stuff,
Right.
and kind of had to do a lot of over exaggerating, and was too daggone comedic. Whereas with Tekken,
It's like the movie knew it was based on a game. Quick,
Yeah.
change the channel.
That was
I mean,
funny, bro.
and the target audience was for kids. It was.
I'm surprised that was not a meme right there.
But it's just like, why are we making it live action if it's supposed to be for kids? Obviously, it's not gonna look very. The aesthetics are gonna clash if you try to make live action silly as a video. You give it video game physics. I mean, that's the reason it's a video game, because it's something that can only be done and experienced through the medium of a video game. And that's why I'm Anime AJ. Your Kaizoku, that's what he goes by, because he, adores anime and anything animated. If it was meant to be live action, the medium of animation would not be considered or have been invented.
I hear you.
And some stories, that's the thing about, when it comes to a lot of the criticism that content creators are giving in regards to a lot of the movies and entertainment in our pop culture media, that is, when it comes to these specific mediums, whether it's a book, a movie, a comic book, or a manga, or an animation, to translate an original work from one medium to another will result in a slightly different product. The problem is doing a proper translation of that work into the other medium and not interjecting or forcing things that were not part of the original narrative into this new transformative product, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's why you get a lot of people, a lot of manga fans will complain, oh, the anime didn't adapt the manga properly. That's cool. Then, that's good to have that. It's good to have that passion, because your Kaizoku feels the same. It's like a lot of anime that he got into, like it didn't have more than a season or more than a few episodes, because anime is not produced in the way it is today. It was not produced that way back then. It almost didn't exist in the way it does today at all. So to have such an abundance now it's like, okay, so back then when you didn't have a lot of the anime, you would end up finding or discovering that the manga it was based on was much longer and there's more content available. So then you start consuming that. And so that's, as one side of me is a manga fan, that's where it's like a lot of these older manga that I used to follow and read, it's like, it really would be nice if they had adapted that story into a full anime series.
Right.
So
But
that's the cool thing about, like, then there's of course the Street Fighter anime. Again, the story that they are pulling the animated shows and series from within the game, and they're expanding that universe. They're doing it in a way that adapts it to that medium.
right.
Because then you can get those effects with like the Hadouken and the spinning bird kick and all those cool
Oh, you can.
techniques. Exactly.
But I want to ask you a quick question. I don't know if Ruben King's still in the chat or not.
He
But
is.
instead of doing the live action Dragon Ball movie, what if they did a live action series instead? You think it would
Instead
have
of a movie?
Huh?
No. The show was. There had already. See, the only reason to make a live action series of an animated series that already told the whole story. What's the point in making a whole nother series? What, they're going to redo every episode in live action? They're going to choreograph everything that was done in the animated show, and think that'll look better? The whole concept, whether it was a movie or a series, is just a cash grab.
That's probably what will happen. It's like, the reason why I asked, this is why I asked. I mean, because obviously, let's keep it a stack. The Dragon Ball movie was ass.
It was pure
Complete
trash.
ass.
It was a garbage fire. It was a dumpster fire.
It was a slap the face of Goku and everybody who.
It was a slap in the face of Akira Toriyama and all his fans, whether they were anime or manga fans.
But then it made me wonder, because Dragon Ball. Let's keep it a stat. Dragon Ball is meant to be a series, not a movie.
It could be. I think it can be.
I mean, it could be good movies now.
I
I'm
think
saying,
it
like,
could be-
if you want to do a
I think it's
live action,
possible.
it's probably better to do
Yeah.
a series.
Well, I think a series of movies, yes. Like, you start off with the trilogy. You have to have. There are so many movies and stories out there that have been trilogies or made into franchises that could have been done better if they had intended from the beginning. Because a lot of these studios, for whatever reason, they won't make a sequel unless a movie like warrants it because of how much money it makes. And it's like, well, if you want to tell a story, a lot of these franchises could get better starts or foundations if they started, with the intention of being trilogies and made as trilogies to begin with. So just because some people don't like a story doesn't mean it can't get better, or that more people won't come in later, or they won't have any enjoyment by people down the road. That's how you got a lot of movies that were became cult classics, because they became popular at the video store than they were at the box office. So I think a live action DBZ movie could be done if it had been done in a similar vein as the original Superman movies from the 80s with Christopher Reeve. If you had intended with a planned duology or a planned trilogy. Give us you start things off slow and you build up to give us a full introduction of how it works, because a single movie does not cut it, especially when you make obvious sequel bait. And of course, there'll never be a sequel because the movie was pure ass. It was just garbage.
It sucked ass.
Exactly. So
But the One Piece
even
series,
back then, that movie was just like, no, man, I ain't ever going to support another idea for a live action adaptation of an anime because it's just dumb. It is.
what about One Piece? It was pretty good.
I've never watched it.
It was pretty darn good. I also liked the Bleach one on live action.
I will never support or watch another live action adaptation of something that was originally made as an anime.
Fair enough.
When you get burned too many times, eventually you just stop going near that fire.
I guess I'm a bit more forgiving, I guess.
Right? I mean, if I didn't like anime, I wouldn't watch anime, right?
True.
Yes, that's why I like of course, I like the original Disney animated films. They will, in my opinion, nothing live action can ever compare or match what was done in those animated films. That's why they were made as animated films to begin with. These live action Disney adaptations are just they're trying to use nostalgia. They're trying to use a popular name to make money. And so they're taken away from the art, the artistry that was done. I've heard a lot of people talk about how Will Smith did great as the genie. And it's like, nice, that's cool. Great doesn't mean good. It just means big. Sure, he gave a big performance, but he can't match and he can't be equated with what Robin Williams did as the genie. That's why Robin Williams came back in the third Aladdin movie. Like it's like saying somebody else could play the Terminator, even though most people know that there probably won't be another one because that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's character. That became his. It has nothing to do with the property rights per se. It's like you just can't fill another person's or character's shoes like that. You can't do it with the chick who played Ariel. You can't just replace her. Those musicals had people who actually, put effort into their performances.
Right, I see your point.
Even the musicians, the musical scores that were made for those animated films that had musical acts within them. Sometimes the actors or actresses who played the voices could do the singing, but most times they had separate singers and actors. It's like, what's the point? It's like you make the Rapunzel movie, we got Tangled, and then a few years later they do a live action remake of it. Well, what was the point of spending all that money to make it with CGI? What's the point of spending all that money on the performances for the singing?
Just for a cash grab.
Right. So like if the person who played the voice of Elsa in Frozen, if she was good enough to be in a live action version, why didn't they do it as a live action instead of animate their characters?
Probably because they couldn't cut corners with it and it was too expensive to do.
Why can't, so there's the other question. Why can't where's the live so here's the question. When a live action remake of Pocahontas is done, are they going to cast the original voice actors for the original roles? No, they haven't done that with any of them.
Because also you got to put in perspective, is the original alive?
Well, hold on. There was a valid argument I can think of to debate on that. They brought James Earl Jones back as the voice of Mufasa. That was an animated movie. It wasn't live action. That was an animated film. That was CGI, all hyper-realistic CGI.
Of course.
So that
imagine them actually using a real lion
as a live-action adaptation. Hell,
no matter how much they try to pull.
Live action Aladdin shouldn't count. I mean, Will Smith was technically animated in that.
I mean, with a lot of stuff, y'all people said though, with Disney, they're all about the whole magic and fantasy. So when they try to do live action with all their stuff, they got to do a lot of CGI and crap. Because it's not like you're just doing down to earth crap. You're doing all this magic fantasy stuff. So you got to CGI a lot of stuff. And that's going to be expensive. So that's why they're trying to make sure that if they're going to do this type of cash grab with their own, doing this live action cash grab, they got to make sure they market it right, do all the marketing, doing the pushing, and make sure they get as much of an audience as they can to pay for the crap.
Right. So it's, in my opinion, as an anime fan and as someone who does have an appreciation for manga, it's better to get the merchandise associated with the original products rather than going and spending any time watching live action adaptations of them. Exactly. I've never gone to see any of the Disney live actions, and technically I could say that's a boycott.
Like not to get off topic, but for example, look at the music industry. You used to see most artists used to drop albums. You don't hardly see albums anymore. Albums don't even sell anymore.
No, that's the thing. Albums are still put out. They're still released. It's still done the same way as it's always been. It's just what medium that you're using to consume your media. So, me, as one of my hobbies is collecting music out is CDs. You know, so vinyls are still around. So yes, albums are still released. It's just like, you know, what musicians you're listening to, what part of the industry what niche of the industry they're part of, and how the content is produced. Because a lot of the newer generations of music producers and content creators are releasing their stuff as they make it. Some of them aren't waiting to make a whole album. They're just putting out SoundCloud and everything, you know, Twitter, Twitch. They're just there.
Right.
But yeah, like I follow a lot of, you know, heavy metal musicians they're not here from the U.S. They're from other countries.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that,
and they still produce. Go ahead.
Right. The music industry has pretty much become more of a singles game than an album game.
Right. Well, that's how you get the.
It's just that albums are not moving like they used to.
Well, of course, a lot of people aren't spending as much money anymore either when it costs so much. You know, CDs, for example, most albums and CDs, whether they're vinyl even, aren't cheap per se. Singles, people easily spend $3.99 or $4.99 for a single song, and singles are what get put on the radio. Singles are what is used to promote an album. So they'll be pumping out a lot of singles, and you're seeing an increase in singles being pushed and promoted because, like you're saying, they're having trouble getting sales on the actual albums.
And see, most of your now singers nowadays and musicians nowadays, it's not about the talent with musicians nowadays. Now it's about your followers.
Right. A lot, and of course, even a lot of shows. I've actually seen that kind of social commentary in certain anime shows from Japan. So yeah, it's anyone who wants to be a content creator should be, if they're going to treat it in any portion as a business, not just as their hobby, but looking at if they are interested in how things operate or will operate. Looking at Japan is like a glimpse into the near future for a lot of content creation and social media platforms.
Right.
Because the things that have been trending over there are now trending over here. It makes one wonder what kind of audience is setting up those trends or making those trends popular over here. Am I right?
Right.
Yeah. Ruby King asked earlier, how do you feel about live-action anime adaptations from Japan, like the Bleach live-action film or the Rurouni Kenshin film? I remember the Rurouni Kenshin film, but I don't recall watching it, and I've never watched
it. It was awesome. It was actually pretty awesome.
I've actually never watched any Japanese live-action remakes.
I've seen the Bleach one. I've seen the Full Metal Alchemist one. I hated the Death Note one.
I heard that the Full Metal Alchemist one it bombed, it tanked.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was all right. It just, I couldn't stop falling asleep during it at the same time.
Right.
Because I was expecting more. Because it shouldn't have been that hard to do that one live action in a way, given its story and stuff like that. Right.
Well, again, if it was meant to be live action, they wouldn't have adapted a manga into an anime. It would be, that's just my perspective. I've seen so many ideas and discussions. I mean, there was debate about them doing a live action adaptation of Neon Genesis Evangelion back in the day, and it never got off the ground. Ultimately, that concept.
They do a live action Gundam or Code Geass.
No, God,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
What's the point? What's the point of making anime anymore then? Just have everything turned into live action, right? So let the anime industry just die.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should stop making video games because we can just make live action movies based on those stories. Why bother
Whoa,
making
whoa,
the
whoa,
games?
whoa! Let's not get crazy though. Let's not get crazy.
Oh, let's not get crazy. Whoa. So
Let's not
anime
get
is okay
crazy.
to make live action, and we're like, oh yeah, just get rid of that industry. But when it comes to video games, that's crossing the line.
Yeah, let's not get crazy. I'm sorry I brought it up. Okay, I'm sorry I brought it up. Let's not get crazy.
So you ever play Metal Gear
Wait,
Solid?
hold on, wait. There is one I feel like I would love to see live action though, if done right.
Okay.
Digimon.
I don't know.
If done right, because they did. Cause I'm doing it based on the fact how Detective Pikachu.
I watched the first show when it first came out, and I don't feel that a live action again with any animation. If it was meant to be live action, they would have made an animation out of it instead. They spent all that money and effort to make that story and to present it in that medium as an anime. And I adored that story because it wasn't something that you would expect or find in a live action show or movie. It was something that was not, you could not find that in any other medium but anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I gotta be more. Let me be more frank and serious. Because I've seen two different versions of the Death Note live action. I'm talking about the Netflix one. I hate.
Yeah, the Netflix.
The Japanese one I liked.
I haven't seen that one either.
You ain't seen the Japanese live action?
No, I've never seen any Japanese live action remake of an anime, and I've never seen any American remake either, other than DBZ and there was one other, and that was like, okay, after those two, I was done.
You know, one thing I can say about DBZ as a franchise, as a series, as a medium, it's the most groundbreaking. You want to know why? Not only does it be having one of the best animated movies, and it's one of the best anime series, if not groundbreaking anime series in a way, but it has out of all live action trash movies, it has the most trash of all. Groundbreaking.
I don't know. When I watched the live action movie of Dragon Ball,
That's what I'm saying. It has the most terrible live action out of all the live action animes. Groundbreaking.
It was an insult. It was an insult to everyone who had ever watched the Cell Saga.
Yeah.
Anyone who ever read the manga and loved the story and watched Gohan become a hero. It was a literal insult. It's a middle finger.
But yeah,
what they've done with a lot of live action Disney films, there's no respect. It's just like how Doomcock has been talking about. Without respect, we reject, because he's been on about how they ruined Star Trek, how J.J. Abrams ruined Star Trek, and then he ruined Star Wars. And Kathleen Kennedy has been destroying Lucasfilm from within. So many good stories that inspired so many people across multiple generations. And these hacks out there in the industry today are their intention, because it's no longer oops, we made a boo-boo. No, their intention has been from the start to destroy our culture through our entertainment. Ruby King says, watch the live action adaptation of Bleach movie. It's good.
Say what?
I mean, the King Piccolo. Ruby King's commenting on my chat. What do you mean about the King Piccolo arc, Ruby King? I wonder what he means about that.
Yeah, I want to know too. Oh, speaking of Dragon Ball, I'm also gonna be doing live streams of the DLCs on the Bardock one and on King Piccolo one.
Nice.
The season 2 of Dragon Ball Kakarot.
Yep, I'm re-downloading Xenoverse on Steam so I can finish that game. Because I got the Xenoverse 2, but I didn't start the story because I was like, I started up, but I didn't play any of it because I wanted to finish the remaining stages in the first one. So I'm actually reinstalling both.
Hold on. But did Ruby King give any context of what he said about the King Piccolo saga?
Not yet.
Okay. I don't think King Piccolo was bad.
I mean, sure, Goku can't fight. He still kicked his ass.
Dragon Ball Evolution was an insult to the Cell. It wasn't just an insult to the Cell saga. It was an insult to anyone who had ever watched the show or read the manga. It was an essential insult to Akira Toriyama. Dragon Ball Evolution, Ruby King, Ronnie, he's commenting about the movie. Because I had mentioned the Cell saga, that because that's what the first thing I could think of when I saw that was, how the story ends up all the way through. Because I've seen, I've seen the Saiyan saga all the way to the Buu saga, and I mean, just one example that came to mind was the battle between Gohan and Cell at the end of the Cell saga. When you have a story that goes through all that big of an arc from the very first episode to that point, just that alone is, the movie was an insult toward. It was an insult toward the Buu saga. The Buu saga ends the whole series in a good way. Yes, it was an insult to the Saiyan saga. It was an insult to the Piccolo saga. It was an insult to Dragon Ball in the very beginning. It was trash. Dragon Ball Evolution adapted King Piccolo.
It was an insult to the brand itself.
Because it was, and that's the one comment I made earlier, Ruby King, that when it comes to certain movies, like if you're going to do, because they set up sequel bait, and we were talking about Dragon Ball Evolution and other movies, like you make a movie and you're going to have a sequel bait idea. It's like some movies, some franchises should be done as a planned trilogy. I think Dragon Ball, if an attempt had been done properly, and I probably still may not have liked it in the end, but I think a better attempt would have been to do a Dragon Ball trilogy. You have the first movie start off with Goku as a kid. You have the second one take place in the, what's going to be next in that story, and then you have the third one follow that. And essentially, you can either do all of Dragon Ball and bring it up to the Dragon Ball Z point or whatever, but you could build off that. You could basically do like a movie for each saga or something. It's just that the writing sucks. And another idea with that is like, what was it? There was another movie that could have worked with.
Okay, I just came with an idea. Don't hate me for this, but what if they did Yu-Gi-Oh live action, or did a live action movie?
Oh God, what's the point? Again, what's the point?
Like, I mean, let's keep it a stack though. They've already made movies. In the series, like they feel like when it comes to the series, it feels like they just making series just to keep the series going. Like I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh in a way kind of lost a little bit of its luster and stuff like that.
Right. Again, it's one thing to make a movie, make movie adaptations of video games, right? Because video games can either go into live action or they can go into animation.
Right? Talking about how they do Final Fantasy and Resident Evil.
Right. Well, because the live action Resident Evil movie sucked and ended up becoming a franchise all their own, and the writing is horrible. Looking back, it's like, geez, I mean, I watched every single one. I'm like, why did I watch these? Holy crap!
I know, right?
It's another movie that comes to mind is World of Warcraft. Right, the Warcraft movie. It was supposed to. They were wanting to do a trilogy, but they weren't going to do a second one unless the first one did any good. And the first one didn't do very well because they put too much into it all at once. And that's another example where it's like, Dragon Ball Evolution, Warcraft the beginning. Like those should have been made as trilogies all at the same time and then released one after the other. Who fucking cares if the first one takes and the second one does better or not? It's like, if you're gonna make a fucking story, do it properly, because they can't seem to grasp how to present these stories in a way that remains true to the original plots, to the original content.
To be fair, the best they've done with a kind of live action game movies was the fighting games, such as Tekken, Mortal Kombat. Hell, I even asked Street Fighter to good.
Right? And Ruby King is even commenting, what would be the point of making any adaptation, whether it be a live action movie or anime? It's not the original, so what would be the point? Right. So, for example,
Well, with
manga,
Yu-Gi-Oh, hold on. With
manga-
Yu-Gi-Oh, you can do almost anything with it. Instead of just using the main character, you can just make a whole spin-off.
right? You could.
And same with Digimon,
But
you can make a whole spin-off.
What's the point? One good question is, what would be the point of trying to present those world physics in a real life setting? Like, I never had any interest in the Pikachu, the Detective Pikachu movie. It was literally
Well,
just CGI animation alongside real life actors, and it's just like, well, what's the point? I mean, you're obviously animating it, so we don't have live action. We don't. It is animated. So why not just stick with the animated shows and content?
Well, what I'm trying to say is to keep it a stack. And when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Digimon, it would kind of make more sense than Pokemon. would.
Right?
It would
And
make
Ruby
more
King-
sense than Pokemon. Because with
Yes,
Digimon, you're dealing with digital monsters. That
Now,
can make sense in our world.
Yeah, and Yu-Gi-Oh! The Yu-Gi-Oh! Concept, though, I can see
It's
in a live
technology.
action study, you can use technology, yes. And as long as it
Yeah,
remains
like I said,
that,
all that could make sense. You don't have to do the Egyptian thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I said, that's why I say do a whole spin-off thing where you use a completely new character stuff.
right? But they also did that with the animated shows. You know how many animated shows Yu-Gi-Oh! Had? It had so many fucking spin-offs, bro. No joke.
No, not really spin-off, but well, there was spin-offs and there
Well,
was
there was one
continuation.
that took place at a school.
Well, no. GX is a continuation. It's literally within the same timeline as the original. So
It
it's
takes
5B.
place in the same universe. Yes, that's what I mean. It takes place in the
Same
same universe,
timeline, but not exactly a
there's no
spin-off.
connection with anything with the original animated show.
Oh, no, it was connected. Like it was. It took place at a time period after original Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right. It took place in the same universe and continuity, but it was not connected in any other way.
It's kind of the result after.
It's like the MCU.
How is it like the MCU?
It takes place in the same timeline and continuity. It takes place after
Right,
the
right.
original. Just like all the Digimon shows took place in the same universe. The first 3 anime shows.
Not all of them. Not all of them. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
The first one, the second one, and then the Try when the first one did the reunion series.
Cry is basically the same thing, but you must mean Tamers.
The first 2 Digimon are in the same universe. And
Yeah,
then
but after that,
Try
everything went its own
years-
course.
Right, those 2 are in the same universe, so there's 2 right there. Then Try is the third of that series.
Try.
Yeah, Digimon Try when the original characters from season 1 were all teenagers and they were grown up.
Okay, but see, technically and Try is basically the same thing. Hold on a minute.
That's what I'm getting at.
I'm
I'm
thinking about something else. I'm thinking about the other one. I'm thinking about the reboot. God, I'm all over the place.
Right. Well, Ruby King says, in regards to what was the point of anime adaptations or live action adaptations? He's saying my argument can be used for anime as well. The record of Ragnarok anime adaptation sucks compared to the manga. Read the manga, and I've never read the manga of Record of Ragnarok. I've never watched the anime of that show either. And I agree that the argument could be used for that because some manga just don't translate well to anime. A lot of manga fans say that and talk about how the anime doesn't do a proper adaptation. We haven't had a good enough adaptation for an anime of the Berserk manga, right? So right there, just that example, your Kaizoku agrees with you, King. Hell, we haven't had a proper anime adaptation of Video Girl Ai. We haven't had. I mean, we've had a good adaptation of Oh My Goddess, but we have not yet had a proper adaptation where they adapt the whole manga of Oh My Goddess. So I agree with you there too. As an anime fan, a lot of anime shows have done pretty well in translating into the medium.
Ruby King says, well, Pokemon aren't real creatures, so you have to make them CGI. Exactly.
So then make the people CGI. What's the point of having like? You see, that's what I'm getting at. What's the point of spending that kind of money? It's already more expensive to animate CGI Pokemon than it is to have real life actors.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that it's not really trying down. What I'm saying is that when you animate Pokemon, of course you're gonna have to use expensive ass CGI and animatronics and shit like that. Because it's not something that exists.
Why not just make it an anime? Oh wait, they already did.
But what I'm saying is like when you try to animate something like Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon, it wouldn't be too harmful because it wouldn't be a bad idea in a sense.
It also kind of makes sense because they're digital. So
yeah,
you could do virtual reality, the whole internet. That's where the Digimon concept comes from.
Even Yu-Gi-Oh, you can do the whole VR thing because that's what it is, virtual stuff, virtual technology.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. Again, that makes sense. Those make sense.
It was already good. It was already better as an anime.
And I'm not saying that it's not good as an anime. I'm just saying, like, because how Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of lackluster right now, and how Digimon has not been getting, it gets attention, but not the same attention as it deserves.
Well, yeah, neither of them are as popular as Pokemon, of course.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, why not try that as an idea, like, to help with the popularity? Because that's kind of, I feel like it's kind of fucked up.
Well, the problem again here, because Ruby King is saying that my point was kind of weak in regards to the live action Pokemon movie. So here's the question. Again, everybody knows as an anime, most anime fans are arguing about how animation studios don't pay their animators enough. That like the industry is set against animators. They want to find ways to get the animators better pay. So the studios are, because the industry is apparently unfair to the animation studios. So here's the question. Does live action not take away from those animation studios? By taking an animated product and saying, oh, the animation studios, the animators aren't getting paid enough. It's so unfair for them in the industry because the big corporations are sucking all the money from the little studios.
I mean, they always do it anyway, and they're going to do that regardless.
Well, that's the problem. Again, that's what I'm trying to present here.
So there's no point on dwelling on that because one,
no.
They already make a trash-ass live action.
This is what I'm getting at. What's the point of that argument if people are going to say we should have live action adaptations of Pokemon? Because then you're literally you're taking away the money from the studios. When like, oh, we could get a better, if we pay the studios better and the animators get better money, we can have more Pokemon anime. We can have more Digimon anime. Because that's the thing that's been going on for 40 plus years. Is how people have been talking about. Anime fans say, oh, the studios and the animators don't get paid properly. They don't get enough for their effort and the work they do. And then, well, they make something and it's popular among anime fans. And people are saying, oh, the animators aren't getting paid enough. And people are like, let's make a live action version. It's wait a minute, what's going on there?
Dude, what I'm saying is, if that was still a problem, that was still a thing, they wouldn't be making all the live action movies in the first place, but they still are. If they're doing.
So here's the thing. So obviously,
it's not going to hurt.
It's a straw man argument, and it is
going to hurt. Isn't CGI basically animation?
Well, again, they don't pay the animator. It costs a lot to make the animation, but even the animators for CGI suffer the same problem. They don't get paid enough.
They form a damn union or strike like everybody else, apparently. Because I'm like saying, like, dude.
It's just, again, the argument that's being presented here is that in the end, with these live action remakes and such, whether it's Disney or anime, it's the same thing that all the other people on YouTube and other platforms are talking about. Consume product. Get excited for next product.
Because also
Don't ask questions.
MAJ, you're arguing about the whole animation thing and manga thing. Like, if that's the case, then why do we have the MCU?
Because of Disney?
But I'm saying, like, if be doing everything live action is so, bad for the animators and manga book writers, then let's use the MCU as an example, because it wasn't not live action. It did start out as live action, but look how much success is coming from it.
And it's not exactly
Before its downfall,
it's not actually the best of writing either. However, with the writing they did in the early years, like phases 1 through 3, where they actually provided a good story and they intended for everything to lead into another movie and be interconnected. Yes, the first 3 phases of the MCU were a monumental success. In terms of cinematography or providing, like if we're trying to compare comics and live action with manga and anime, there really is no comparison. They are completely different mediums, and now even the sales are showing that comic books do not compare with manga. It's just a different medium of storytelling altogether.
Of course.
The sad thing about it though is that the comic book industry, it's not exclusively superheroes. That is just one genre of many out there. There are so many good comic books that are not Marvel or DC.
Archie comics,
even web comics, which is
Dark Horse
a
comics.
huge thing. Well, Dark Horse is owned by one of the big major ones now.
Oh dang, yeah, that is right. And then IDW, I think it was.
Right. I mean, Dark Horse was one of the companies that, thanks to early Dark Horse comics and Dark Horse manga, that's how Rika Okuo found a lot of manga back in the early days when they were bringing it to America. There are plenty of comic books that are better suited to that medium instead of being turned into movies. There are plenty of manga that are good enough on their own that they don't need an animated adaptation. The popularity of them, though, yes. I definitely agree and support the idea that the popularity of a certain product or story, the fans may warrant providing an adaptation of sorts into another medium. In regards to where Ruby King is coming from on this whole subject, anime and manga, especially in Japan, anime and manga are intertwined. They're almost considered one and the same. With that said, to break it down from my perspective, is that manga is essentially like the way you would set up like how Disney would storyboard a animated film. When they would storyboard an animated film, they got all the different panels and such. Well, you look at a manga story and it's comic book panels all throughout. It's a graphic novel essentially, and you're reading the words that are provided. You're reading the bubbles that are being spoken or thought of by the characters. You're reading the art. You're reading what's drawn on the pages because it tells a story, and it tells the story not through just the words spoken between characters. It tells you the story in a manga through the actual drawings in each panel. That's how that medium works. And that's why when it is translated or adapted into an animation, aka anime, it is usually very successful and it is done well and appropriately, because you can't, there's in several cases, it is been proven that an anime can be successfully adapted from a manga, because that's how the culture is over there in Japan. Anime today, what we call anime, would not exist if not for manga, because that's how it started. That's essentially how it started. Anime comes from manga. It was just it's a branch off. It's an evolution of that medium. So to take an animated film or movie or series, whether it's Disney or something from Japan, and to translate it into a live action film, well, really, what you should be doing is translating the original source material, the manga, into that. In many cases, we all know that they make slight changes or adjustments to anime because DBZ had it, Naruto had it, even One Piece has had it. All those filler arcs.
Right.
So there is stuff that's either excluded or added in compared to the manga of any story or series.
I get you. But it's almost about that time for me to wrap this up. Because I gotta get ready for tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, I need some sleep. Because I got a lot of errands to run as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It was good.
But I enjoyed this conversation with you, buddy.
Yeah, we went from one thing to another. It was fun.
Yeah. But if I do another live stream again, hopefully we'll have Ruby King with us.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Really would have enjoyed getting more of his perspective in here.
Yeah. But I still liked how he was adding his perspective regardless.
Oh yeah, it was nice having him in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate all of you being here in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all. I hope you find in your hearts to support this podcast channel that I'm trying to start up. It's small now, but hopefully I can I'm hoping to get it to grow bigger, or at least reach 1,000.
Right, that'll be cool.
And get it monetized. I'm trying to get into the podcast game as well.
Yeah, especially because you do games on the other, and now you want to do other topics on this channel, right?
Yep.
There you go.
But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. And I have this for you all.
Take care, Ronnie D.
Take care, buddy.
All right.
Oh, that's not it. That's not all. That's not all.